Thank you, Madam President. I take the floor in explanation of vote on the resolution endorsement of the New York Declaration on the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and implementation of the two-state solution. We express our gratitude to you for convening this meeting and thank the co-chairs, France and Saudi Arabia, for a successful high-level international conference for peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution. This is a very important and long overdue matter. We also thank the co-chairs of the various working groups for their efforts in the build-up to and during the high-level conference in July. As we meet here today, the killings in Gaza are unabating. The genocide continues without any hope that it will soon end. The state of Israel continues to act with impunity and without fear of being held accountable. In recent days, it has extended its illegal actions by now also attacking Qatar in a blatant violation of international law, breaching the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity, while also compromising the safeguarding of civilians as outlined in the United Nations Charter and international humanitarian law. This flagrant violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the state of Qatar comes against the background of the government of Qatar playing a prominent role as facilitator to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of all hostages held by Hamas. Madam President, we note with deep concern the motion adopted by the Israeli Knesset calling for applying Israeli sovereignty over the occupied West Bank and the Jordan Valley, signaling the intention of Israel to annex this territory. This could effectively bury the two-state solution and continue with blatant violation of international law, including UN resolutions and ICJ rulings, which have given hope to the Palestinian people. This motion, together with statements such as those made yesterday by Prime Minister Netanyahu that, and I quote, "There will be no Palestinian state, this land is ours," close quote, undermines the prospect of a Palestinian state. Despite the horror that is happening in Gaza or the occupied Palestinian territories in general, we are pleased that UN member states, in their numbers, have come out in support of the call to end the atrocities in Palestine and implement the almost 80-year-old promise of Palestinian statehood. We are hopeful that the end of the occupation is within reach and the creation of a contiguous Palestine state existing peacefully and side by side with the State of Israel along the 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital, will soon become a reality. This resolution that we have adopted today, reaffirming the two-state solution, should not distract us from the urgent efforts that are needed to ensure an immediate ceasefire and an end to Israel's genocidal war against the Palestinian people. We should be emboldened to act so that negotiation for a just peace can commence. The stability of the Middle East region and international peace and security in general depends on a just and peaceful resolution to the question of Palestine and holding those who violate international law accountable to ensure that all states are safe from wanton and brazen aggression and that international law remains credible. At the request of the General Assembly, the ICJ has issued an advisory opinion finding Israel's continued presence in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, unlawful and that it must end rapidly as possible. The court determined Israel's policies and practices, including its settlement expansion, land confiscation, and discriminatory legislation, violate fundamental international law principles, such as the right to self-determination and the prohibition of acquiring territory by force. The opinion also sets obligations for all states to not recognize the legal situation and not provide aid to maintain it, and requires the UN General Assembly and Security Council to consider actions to bring the unlawful presence to an end. A year ago, this Assembly adopted Resolution A/10/24, calling on all member states to take necessary measures to implement this ICJ advisory opinion. This creates legal obligations on us, all of us, which we must adhere to. Madam President, South Africa voted in favor of the resolution today and welcomed the outcome on 5 September 2025 with a clear understanding that the outcome document, as described in this paragraph, in paragraph 42 of the declaration, was prepared under the authority of the co-chairs and is seen as their own view on the outcome of discussions, as well as proposals from the working groups, and does not preclude a more inclusive approach to negotiations towards finalizing the two-state solution and a true realization of the right to self-determination of the people of Palestine. The outcome serves as an important reference for what is required for a viable two-state solution, while not constituting a determination or prejudgment of the negotiations required to achieve this. Once again, we thank the co-chairs for this outcome document and be assured of South Africa's continued support in this process. I thank you.
I thank the representative of South Africa. I give the floor now to Latvia, followed by the Islamic Republic